Yes, good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. How are we doing? Not quite as nice as previous weeks, is it today? A little bit muggy. Looks cold enough to walk the dogs, though, which is good. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from, whoever you are. And I hope you've enjoyed the content. It will never surprise me. It will never stop surprising me. The number of people that watch debates, watch rows, and then get so angry about it in the comment section afterwards, going, oh, you were out of order to him. He's out of order. Why can't anyone just watch a good debate and a row and go, yeah, enjoyed that, gents. Enjoyed that, lads. Can't do it. Everyone needs to have that moral high ground, don't they? Oh, you're out of order. Can't believe you did this. You are out of order. Oh, let's all have a little cry about it. Oh, God. Then you've got to remember that it is 2025 and it's what people like to do. People like to cry. People like to bitch. People like to moan. And talking about bitching and moaning, Arsenal fans bitching and moaning. They're signing Gyökeres and they're still not happy. So what I thought I'd do today is I thought I'd bring on an Arsenal fan so we could all have a chat and say, we've got Dominic Solanke, you've got Gyökeres, shut up. Be grateful. We got Aaron from Aaron Talks Arsenal. My man, Aaron, how are we doing, bro?
Yeah, big up, man. Thank you very much for inviting me on. Looking forward to it. Even though I'm a bit of a miserable sod, I know, nothing's ever good enough, is it?
Mate, we're all miserable sods. I mean, I saw Man City fans last year. They wanted their manager sacked after winning 4 titles in a row. So, listen, there's nothing good enough. But, mate, thanks for coming on. We'll talk all things football. Obviously, we'll start with Spurs and Arsenal. But there's a lot going on in the world. Looks like Hugo Ekitike maybe going to them lot in Newcastle, which looks very interesting. And you've got Darwin Núñez, who looks like he's closing in on a move to Napoli. But we'll talk about all that sort of stuff a bit later. Talk to me, Aaron. How are you? And how's the transfer window? You've made a lot of signings. You've made a shed load of signings. Talk to me about it.
Well, we've only made 3 so far, but yeah, another 2 are pending, aren't they? But one of them I don't want, Madueke. Come on, you've got Kudus for the same price. That's a proper player for that price. I'm devastated that you've managed to get him, and especially that we've managed to get Madueke instead. I think it's madness. But yeah, look, I'm happy with the Gyökeres thing. Come on, man. All jokes aside, of course I'm happy with the Gyökeres. I'm double happy with that.
I don't know which one, but thanks, Mary. Love you too. And thanks, Daniel Levy, for taking the time to be here with Morgan Gibbs-White. We'll talk about Morgan Gibbs-White in a bit. Just so you know, I am hearing today from a lot of sources, take it as you will, that he's not at training today. I don't know how true this is, but lots of people are telling me he's not at training today. So that means the ITKs will be doing double overtime. But, mate, yeah, listen. So what have you got? You've got through the door Kepa as your backup keeper. You got Norgard, who I'm guessing will be kind of the Jorginho replacement. Zubimendi, Thomas Partey. Then you've got Madueke, who just had squad depth, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
Gyökeres and Mosquera to come through the door. What's that, 6?
Yeah, that would be 6. Yeah.
I mean, is it? I watched your show last night, right? And I saw when I was in the chat and you were mugging me off with all the old videos of Thierry Henry destroying Arsenal, destroying Spurs. The sense I got from you lot was that still it's not enough. Like I got the feeling that it was okay, good. We've made some signings, but it's not enough compared to Liverpool and City. Am I reading the room right there? Is that the vibe?
Yeah. The thing is as well, though, is like what you got to add is all of them players together. That's over 200 million quid, and really only Gyökeres improves it. That's the frustrating thing. So it's all sort of well and good going. Oh yeah, you're making 6 signings, but they're not really that good signings for me personally. I mean, Kepa, whatever, is a backup keeper. Like, I got over it. It's frustrating. He's another Chelsea reject. But then Norgard, if he's that good, why didn't Thomas Frank take him? If he's so good, why didn't Frank want him? Brentford captain, why didn't he go to Spurs? So
do you not think Norgard does the job though? Like in terms
what
of
job though?
I was going to I'm about to do something I don't normally like doing. I don't like basing one player off another player, but in terms of what Jorginho was in the squad to do, he stepped in big games and did well and just steadied the ships. He was an older head. Does he not? I know it's not exciting and probably would have been better, Aaron, if it had been on the last day of the window. You went, right, we've got our big signings in. I'll tell you what, let's bring in Norgard for a little bit of squad building.
Yeah.
Does he not feel that void? Does he not feel that role for you, or is it completely underwhelming?
Look, he's there obviously to do a job. He's not there to start. But the thing is our midfield is got so wafer thin, considering we've spent 440 million quid on it. It's wafer thin. You were a Declan Rice injury from him playing, really, when you look at it. Or Mikel Moreno playing. I do totally get it's cheap and cheerful, 10 million. He will come and do a job. But at the end of the day, we at phase 6 or phase 5 or whatever we're in after 5.5 years, I'm sorry. I'm kind of looking for a bit more than squad players. Like I said, we signed 6 players there, and really only Gyökeres improves it. They're all
do you not think Zubimendi does? And can I put an argument forward for Zubimendi improving it? I'm not an Arsenal fan. Some of my fan base will have you believe that I am. I don't know why, but just because I might have criticised a Spurs player at some point, Zubimendi, for me, I know he's not the same profile of a number 6 as Partey, but he does offer something different. He is more of that, let's get on the ball, let's dictate play a bit. His passing is better than Partey's. He's a very intelligent, Rodri-esque player on the ball. And doesn't that allow this whole... I see you Arsenal fans rowing all the time. I watch your content. Is Rice a 6? Is Rice an 8? Is Rice this? Doesn't this just allow now Declan Rice to go and be what he actually is, an 8, right? Doesn't this allow Zubimendi to sit, do all of that, and let Rice go and be your box-to-box guy?
Has he got the legs for it, though, Zubimendi? I'm not saying his legs are gone, but has he got the legs to be a sole 6 there? I personally think, for me, I'd have it a 4-2-3-1 and have Rice and Zubimendi playing a double pivot off of each other. That's what I prefer, just that little bit of assurance around near Zubimendi. I think that would massively work. But I just can't see Arteta doing it. He likes that 4-3-3. And the frustrating thing about our midfield then is, I know, look, you've got to give Zubimendi a chance, 150%. But you're looking at 440 million quid spent. You've got Declan Rice, who I believe is playing that position. Odegaard's progressing for the last 2 years. And you've got Zubimendi, who ain't even kicked a ball in England yet. It's just all a little bit underwhelming. I don't know. And you think in the midfield just this year, we've spent 65 million, Zubimendi, Norgard, and not really improved anything. We've just replaced Thomas Partey and Jorginho, At
but
this
what was the real
stage, we need to be,
What was the real problem, though? Because whenever I hear Arsenal fans, like, and maybe this is just a gal, I don't know, but I'm led to believe that you are one striker away. I'm led to believe you are a goal scorer away from beating City, from beating Liverpool. Gyökeres is through the door. Before you talk to me about Gyökeres, you guys...
Smile now, Sav.
Yeah,
I'm smiling now, Sav. Come on.
Well, listen, I'm so jealous that you guys have got Gyökeres because we've got Dominic Solanke, who we'll talk about in a minute. But listen, that must change the game somewhat for you lot, right? It's the striker I think that none of us wanted you to get. I think we're all sitting there going, "Oh, it's brilliant. Arsenal don't have a forward. They're toothless." You've now got the guy who's got 105 goals in 2 years or something. You must be happy about that. You must be, surely.
Buzzing, mate. Like, listen, and it's the only signing I'm really excited about. You're not excited about Madueke and Kepa and the Mosquera's. He's young, that centre back, so I don't mind. That sort of fizzling out. Hopefully, comes good. I won't really expect too much from him straight away. But the Gyökeres, come on, man. Big old smile there. When you're looking at Arsenal needing a striker, Mikel Arteta ain't signed one, bear in mind. He signed 6 forwards. 4 of them are from bloody Chelsea. So you're looking at Gyökeres and you're thinking, right, who's available? Realistically, Isak, he ain't available, is he? So you're looking at everyone else and you're looking at him thinking, well, Gyökeres is the best in the business out there in terms of availability, and he bloody wants to come to play for Arsenal. I think 89 league goals in the last 3 years. I mean, I don't expect him to do the same thing in England, scoring 30, 40 league goals. like he has done in Portugal. But
Yeah.
if we can get 2025, it's a game changer for us. And then if we can get someone on that left, Rodrigo, I can't see it happening. But
That's going to be a lot of. I
yeah,
feel like that would be one of those
yeah,
deals that drags on for weeks and months. But
yeah.
let me ask you before I ask in general, just because I think it's interesting. Like we as Spurs fans sitting here, and obviously we want to cuss everything you do, and I'm sure you laugh at us, and blah blah blah. But I want to talk about the Madueke deal, and obviously we've got, I suppose, invested interest in it because he came through our academy, and
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about this, Aaron, is he's come through our academy, not played a single first team game for us, and yet Chelsea have bought him. Now Arsenal have bought him, and I look at those fees and go, how have we not gone? This guy's going to be good enough to be a Premier League player and an England international. Now, I'm going to throw a theory, and again, a lot of devil's advocate, right? So, a lot of devil's advocate. You lot complain a lot about squad depth, right? You lot complain about, well, Bukayo Saka's being absolutely driven into the ground, and you've got no one on the left-hand side instead of Martinelli. In some way, doesn't matter where came. Forget the cost for a minute. I know we're all accountants. I know we all care about how much money these chairmen spend, but doesn't matter where in some way, shape, or form solve that for you on both sides. He can play both wings. He's Premier League proven. He's an England international, so homegrown. Doesn't he give you a bit of relief on both sides that he can either start or be a bench player and cover that? Is there no aspect to that, or do you dislike the signing that much?
Yeah, I definitely do as well. We got Reece Nelson coming back. I think, and you probably heard me say this, I actually think he's Reece Nelson with a bandana. That's all he is. We've just
Oh
spent
wow.
50 million to basically just get the same thing back. No, he might turn out to be all right, and I hope he does. I want Arsenal Football Club to do well. So if that means players I don't like play well, buzz him, because it means Arsenal are doing good. But I'm sorry, for me, when you sort of look at it in terms of 50 million, if it was 10 million or 20 million, I think you'd get over it a little bit more. But say Rodrigo, and let me go back to that. Yeah, and like I said, I don't think we're going to get him. But let's just say he does become available in a month's time, Sav. And our excuse for not getting him is because we spent 55 million on Madueke. And they go, yeah, we just can't afford it. And I'm like, well, you've just spent 55 million on Madueke.
Yeah.
That's because we're not going to. We've already at 200 million now. I'd love for us to get Rodrigo on top of what we got, and I'd love for us to get Eze. That would bring our summer spending to 350 million. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And
Is Eze happening?
I think, yeah, a lot more likely than bloody Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo just ain't coming. It is what it is. But Eze, I think there's a good little chance. There's a lot of talks there. Obviously, he's come through our academy a good few years ago now. So I think there may be a little bit of a want to come back and prove. Do you know what I mean? Prove a little, prove him wrong or something like that. But I think he does want to come to the club. It's just how much we want to piss around, Sav. And
Yeah.
I also
It
think
should be easy, Eze, right? Surely Eze should be.
yeah,
We know he's got a 68 million release clause. This is what kind of confused me with you lot. Listen, again,
yeah,
I know there's a lot of people who don't understand that just because you support one club doesn't mean you can't be interested as a football fan about other clubs.
yeah.
It surprised me how long it took you guys to get Gyökeres done, considering that when all is said and done, I'm expecting like a 90 million pound fee for how long this has taken. And then when it rocks up that it's a 55 million pound fee, it's taken you that long to do that. How long is it going to take you to get Eze's release clause of 68 million pounds paid? I mean, surely a club your size can go,
Yeah.
boom, put the money down, can't you?
We don't know, but we just fart ass around with things. It's frustrating. Like what we'll do is we'll go, okay, can we 60 million? We'll do that, and then we'll go, oh, can we stagger it over 5 years? And they're like, come on, don't take the mick here, Arsenal. That's what we do. I think we annoy people in terms of negotiations. I don't know why we don't just go, here you go. We will probably spend 6 weeks messing around over 2 million. The Gyökeres deal ain't done because of 2 million or something stupid like that. It's just pay the money. Just
Yeah.
sometimes you've just got to put it down just to get the business done. We're flying out. I don't know what you boys are doing in terms of your pre-season, but
Yeah, you
4 days
do.
time, 4 days time,
We're
we're
going to
flying.
Sun's country. You know where we're going. We're going to South Korea like we always do to get all that marketing money, mate. You know where we're going.
Getting that
Yeah,
money, innit? Getting that sweet,
absolutely,
sweet
mate.
money. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They all do
Is
it
this
now anyway.
true?
But
Is this true? Big up. This is either Kate or Jim. I'm going to go with Jim. Normally, Kate gives me a kiss at the end. So I'm going to go with Jim. Kate and Jim, I hope you're well. After all is said and done, talking about Eze's, talking about Rodrigo's and Gyökeres and Zubimendi's, is this the crux of it? Is the crux of it that if you gave this squad right now to Slot, Pep, Klopp, that you win the league? Is that how you see it, or is it not that straightforward?
Not win the league. I think we still need a little bit more. But obviously, I think we'd have a better chance if you had one of them better managers. I actually agree with Kate or Jimbo there, 100%. It's all down to the manager. All the manager, 100%. If we didn't sign anyone else and just sack the manager right now, it'd be the best window I've seen Arsenal have, maybe ever. Like he's no good, Sav. He's a failure. Since he won the FA Cup, we've entered 19 competitions and we've failed in 19 competitions, consecutive competitions. He's not a winner. He don't know how to get over the line.
Would that be forgotten if you win the league this year?
No, I'd be happy. And obviously then I'd say, you know what, you get another year, 100%, because I think that's fair. But it still doesn't deter from the fact that he's given us 5 or 6 empty ones. It's not good enough for me personally.
Is this page 1 of your League Gunner guidebook? Is that what?
Yeah.
Selling? Is that what this is? It's interesting, right? Because I get a lot of stick when I talk about Arsenal not winning the league. I get loads. Obviously, you're a salty Spurs fan, but I've always said I feel like you're there, but you're not there, and it's fine margins. But I've just always felt that City and I suppose Liverpool now have just got that. That's something you've not got. Listen, I think you are much better than both those clubs at the back. Right? I think you are. I think what Arteta is brilliant at, he has organised that back four. He has made you so hard to beat. But it all looks a little bit stagnant going forward. And it didn't. There was that year where you looked really good. I don't like the word scary. I'm not going to go scary. There was that year where you looked frightening going forward.
Yeah.
And then it just seems to have sort of fizzled out a bit. Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, what happened that year? I think that was 3 seasons ago now. Like 22-23 season, I'm sure that was. We were ripping teams to shreds. And we just didn't have enough at the end of it to get over the line. You know, Saliba got injured, a few other players got injured, and we just went down. No excuse. We should have had the squad capable of winning it. We bottled an 8-point lead. It's our own fault. But yeah, I don't know, man. We were doing that, and I feel what Mikel Arteta should have done was, instead of changing the whole way we play, and which is what he done, by the way, he went out, rip it all up and go ultra defensive. I reckon he should have just had a few little cogs here and there and carried on playing expansive attacking football. He just completely went the other way. And, you know, last season, it was a bore, Sav. And you've had it, you've had it under Conte and Mourinho, the football you weren't happy with. Was you? To be fair, it was slow,
it's
boring.
tough.
That's what it was like last year, bro.
When you're not enjoying it, I get when people say things like this line always makes me laugh. Like when people go, "I don't care about the football as long as we win." The problem is, how often does a team that plays really crappy, negative football win titles? That's my problem. Like if we look at it, Liverpool last year don't play crappy, boring football, right? City don't play crappy, boring football, right? If you look before that, Chelsea teams that were winning the league weren't playing crappy, boring. You know,
maybe Mourinho in 04-05, but they still had a lot of flair going up front. Damien Duff, Robin.
So when people say things to me like that, I don't care. We win. Listen, I'm not saying that I have to watch my team play tiki-taka every week. I'm not. I'm not saying my team has to be free flowing. But as a football fan, I think you have to look at the odds of, okay, what are the odds we win the league? The odds for every team in the country that they win the league are tiny because only one team can win it. So as a football fan, doesn't the rest of you want to be enjoying what you're seeing most weeks? Like I want to see my team playing and that's just me. I'm not listen, I'm not saying if you said to me, give me 1 year of playing boring negative football but we win the league, I'll take it. As a football fan overall that watches I do a watch along every single Spurs game. So this season I'm looking at 60 watch alongs. I want to be excited. I don't want 10 men behind the ball, you know?
100%, mate. The thing is I don't know whether you got a season ticket or you go to the games or not. I have, so I go to all the home games. Don't get too many away because of the thing. Mate, I was bored stiff when I was there last year, honestly, Sav. Like, bring a pillow and a sleeping bag, it was that boring. Do you know what I mean? It's not what you go there for. I do totally accept and appreciate every game ain't going to be 5-1. It's not going to be exhilarating. I totally get
Yeah,
that. I'm not asking for 38 games where we blow every team away, but I am expecting us to try, or at least try and be on the front foot. I totally get that there'll be games where it just ain't happening for us. Maybe we'll be
yeah.
outplayed. Maybe the team will be ultra super defensive and we can't get any rhythm going. But I want us to at least try. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Whereas we were almost protecting 1-0 leads in the first half against like an Ipswich after 30 minutes. What we doing? Killed a
yeah.
game off, but we weren't. We were just holding back, super defensive, and it was just a little bit meh. If I'm being honest
Yeah.
with you, he just totally went the other way. And to be fair, I actually think we won't get the best out of Victor Gyökeres. Absolutely not. If
No, I
we play
think
this ultra defensive, we need to change tactics, not drastically, but we've definitely got to improve
if
ourselves
you
going
add in
forward. Absolutely.
Zubimendi with his passing, Eze with his, I mean, Eze's a maverick, right? Eze, you never know
Yeah.
what Eze, and then Gyökeres, doesn't that completely change the dynamic of the way you attack anyway? Those three players, you're changing three of your front six, so to speak, and the only three that would survive, in my opinion, would then be what? Rice, Saka, and Odegaard,
Yeah,
maybe,
but
right?
to be fair though, I wouldn't have Eze on the left in terms of left wing. I'd drop him out for Odegaard, get rid of him. I'd have Eze
Sure,
in the 10.
sure.
So when I said the 4-2-3-1, if we was to line up, and like I said, this won't happen. If we was to have Declan Rice, Zubimendi in the double pivot, Eze in the 10, Saka right, Gyökeres up top, and then a Rodrigo on the left, you're looking at a good
Yeah,
team,
yeah.
a
Now I don't
real,
like Arsenal
real
even
good
more. Yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
look,
No,
you it's not necessarily you win games in the tunnel, but if you was looking at them players or the lineup and going, wow, Arsenal have got Saka, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres up top, man, like wow. Whereas when it's so stale when you're looking at Kai Havertz, Martinelli, no one's fearing that. No
yeah,
one is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
No one is.
I think
You're
that's
not
the
like, oh,
difference.
we're in a tough
For
game
years,
today. Havertz is up top. Jesus, we're gonna have a
and
tough day.
that's what City and Liverpool have had over you, right? Is
Yeah, yeah.
City can be awful, but they got magicians that just go boom, and you're like, oh wow. And they got Haaland, who could be as bad as he likes and still score goals. Salah, sometimes I watch Salah and he looks like he can't control a football. And then out of nowhere, boom, 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 he's got a hatchet. You're like, oh wow. Let me ask you, let me move into Spurs for a little bit. Seeing as there's a lot of Spurs fans in the chat, a lot of Spurs fans, not many likes, 135 likes, 550 in here. Come on, guys, smash them up. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm sure you have. The Arsenal fans, definitely subscribe to Aaron Talks Arsenal. He's not a deluded Arsenal fan. He's a good one. So please, and if one of my mods would please be so kind to put in Aaron's link. My link's in there. You know my link. Please subscribe. We are nearly at 19,500 now. So we're so close to that 20K. And it's become like a bit of it's become a monkey on my shoulder, if I'm honest. I need to get there.
Refreshing the page and all of that.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. It's years of hard work, mate. Years and years of hard work. Spurs. Obviously, you lot hated the fact that we won the European trophy. And since then, there's been a lot of upheaval at Spurs. Coaches going, directors going, new manager. We've spent 20 million to sack Ange and bring in Frank and his coaching staff. Like it's like a busload of coaching staff just turned up. Then Kudus, then the Morgan Gibbs-White situation. What do you make of Spurs at the moment? What do you think of our transfer window and with Ange going and Frank coming in? Talk to me about Tottenham from an outsider's point of view.
Well, do you know what the good thing, obviously, for you boys is Champions League football. I reckon if you didn't get that or win that trophy, like I don't think Kudus comes. Maybe Gibbs-White looks elsewhere. It's a massive change, isn't it, being in that Champions League? And it's enabled you, even finishing 17th, it's enabled you to go and get top quality players. Morgan Gibbs-White's a really, really, really solid signing for me. Kudus, fantastic signing. What I would want if I was a Spurs fan was to not stop there. Like you can't just rest on that and go, oh yeah, you got two in, that'll do. You've got to keep pressing. You've got to keep going, keep getting them signings in there because there's a lot of teams strengthening this year. And, you've got a lot of ground to make up. You've not got a bad squad, to be honest with you. It was just poorly managed. Now, for you, obviously, hopefully for you guys, you'll want Frank to come in and, sturdy things up, definitely from set pieces, Defensively, I would have thought it'd be able to stern up, solid, make a few bits more solid. Like corners, he was terrible. So yeah, I think it's not a bad sort of a bad time for Spurs. I don't think having that Champions League football, but you've got to get more signings in the door. What you've got at the minute, thank you very much, Ben, top man.
Cheers, Ben. Thanks, mate.
What you've got at the minute is good, but you've got to get more. I reckon you need about 4 or 5 signings, to really just push that. 'Cause you don't want to be left behind. That's the thing. Like Chelsea's strengthening, Aston Villa will strengthen. I know they ain't done much, but there's a lot of competition now from moving from where you are to try and break into that monopoly of top 4. I reckon we'll struggle. I know we're not talking Arsenal thing, but I reckon we'll struggle for it unless we make some proper good signings. So for you boys, it's all well and good having the Champions League, but you got there through the back door. Like last year, you'll have to win it this year or finish in the top 4 to continue that progress in terms of revenue, in terms of player attraction. It's a tricky one, but look, you can't stop there with just 2 signings, albeit very good signings. You've got to keep pushing, otherwise you'll just be left behind.
This is the key thing that Spurs fans always worry about is that, I mean, first of all, you're right. We got through to the Europa League through the back door because the league was the worst league season I've ever seen in the Premier League ever. Like it was truly atrocious, Aaron. Like, I do the games obviously because it's part of my job. And watch-alongs are my thing. I really enjoy them. I think I'm okay at them, right? But watching them was hard work. But now we've got that get out jail free card where we've got the opportunity to go, right, hang on, we've done it by hook or crook. We never want to be in that position again. Let's go and spend. Now, before we move on to other signings, talk to me about Kudus. The Spurs fan, I thought when we were linked with him, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, a proper winger, a quick winger, a strong winger, and more than anything, something that's died from football, a winger that can beat his man like that, just for fun. Yeah. But a lot of our fan base weren't overawed and said, oh, he's had a poor year, and is he better than Brennan Johnson? Is he better than Kudus? Well, what do you make of Kudus and the signing? What do you think? You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute. I don't know how. Nope.
Hello? Better?
Yeah, you're back now. Yeah, it just completely went.
Terrible. Shocking, Mike. Bin it. In the bin with Arteta. Yeah, man. Kudus, sorry. Yeah, I think that's a really solid signing, mate. In terms of availability, he wanted to come to Spurs. He's rarely ever injured. I know he's had a couple of little mini ones, but, mate, it's better than what you got at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. Improving your first team squad. And he does that.
Yeah.
Absolutely does that. He's got a bit of versatility as well. I know he don't predominantly play on the left, but he can do jobs here and there. He can play in the middle as well. He's quite a good versatile player, and he's better than what you got at that right wing because, like for us, it was stale. Your strike force it's just a bit stale. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Johnson, Solanke, Tell, Odegaard. It's like, mate, listen, I know probably showing my age a bit here, but I grew up watching Clive Allen. I grew up watching Hoddle. I grew up watching Waddle, Lineker, Ginola, the love of my life.
Klinsmann, mate. Bit of Klinsmann.
Sheringham, Klinsmann, Berbatov, Defoe, King. Now I'm watching Spurs fans try desperately to tell me why Dominic Solanke, I'm harsh on him. And I'm like, oh, man, come on. And look, Kudus for me, I'll ask you this. If you're as an Arsenal fan, when you're playing Tottenham, are you going to be more worried about Kudus getting the ball on the halfway line or Brennan Johnson?
Yeah, exactly that. Right? Yeah, fact. 100%.
That's it, right?
He's more excited as well for a Spurs fan. You'll be looking there and thinking something can happen. As opposed to over like a Johnson, you'll be going on Kudus and you'll think that he'll be able to make something happen because he can just beat someone, like you said, absolutely like that. And that's what you want, a bit of electric, you know what I mean? A bit of chaos and all of that. And he can finish. He's got end product. I think it's a proper solid signing, mate. I'm telling you, it's a real solid signing. I'm surprised you had such an easy run at him, to be fair.
Mate, do you know what? I'll be honest, the absolute negative pessimist in me that has supported Spurs for 40 years was sitting there going, I'm literally waiting for the Romano or Ornstein to say, Chelsea have entered the race, and it was like I was waiting for the God.
Hijack.
Yeah, but he didn't. And to be fair, to be fair to Spurs, Daniel Levy went and got the deal done. I think he got it at a good price, which, by the way, it seems like the going price for every winger now is somewhere between the 50 and 65 million mark. It is like that is every club's looking at other players being sold and going 50, 65. But I'm excited. Even like there was a little training montage yesterday that, they do here's Kudos first day at training. And you didn't really see anything, but you could see his speed of foot with the ball, his footwork. It's different. You could tell a player when I watch Brennan Johnson, he's not got that in his feet. Yeah, Brennan Johnson's got another skill set. He gets into the box and he gets tap-ins, and I'm not knocking that. I'll never knock that. I'm a football fan. I want a guy who gets the ball on that wing and I go, hang on, what are you going to do? You guys had it with Perez, Lundberg, right? You guys had it with Henry. You don't want to go from that to watching square pegs. Do you know what I mean? You want to watch Mavericks. Do you think, though, he didn't have the greatest year last year, Kudos? He didn't, like, in terms of output. He's still got, he's got the best take-ons in the country. He can still, go past a man for fun. Do you think it was more of a West Ham situation rather than a Kudos situation, and that he'll have a new lease of life coming to Spurs and we'll see the best of him?
I reckon it's sort of a bit of both. I reckon he probably had maybe not a poor attitude, but he probably was just looking around at him maybe and just thinking, where am I? That probably can contribute to a bit of poor form. He probably thought he was better than West Ham, and to be fair, he is.
Yeah.
It's reinvigorating, especially, like I said, playing in the Champions League football, which he will be doing. It's a new lease, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's going to Spurs. It's all new. He's going to be playing in the Champions League football. Lovely stadium. He's in London still. You know what I mean? His life don't really have to change that much in terms of where he's living. It does sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a change. And I reckon, to be fair, then that's no disrespect to West Ham, but he probably just outgrew him. You know what I mean? He got to that stage even after 2 years. It was always going to be a stepping stone signing, wasn't it? So let's just get that right. It was always.
Do you know what? When he was at Ajax, I was when West Ham got him. Sometimes you look at a signing and it's funny because sometimes a signing like that, people go, "Oh, he couldn't be that good because only they went for him." But sometimes those signings just slip through the gap.
Yeah.
And if that was the answer to every player that signed, no one would ever be good enough for the bigger clubs. I think you're right. I think it was a stepping stone. And listen, who knows? Hopefully not. We might be a stepping stone. If he comes and smashes it, we might be. But I'm just looking forward to watching a Spurs winger now. I find all Tottenham's wingers painfully boring. Even Son now. Yeah. Even Son, who isn't really a winger, but it's all very much get the ball, can't beat a man, cut inside, 5-yard pass back. Hopefully Maddison can do something creative. I want to see a man that says, you know what, I can go on the outside or the inside, or I can pass, or I can shoot. I like that. I like a maverick.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Almost sometimes what he's going to do, and there's just nothing you can do. Almost, I'm not saying he's as good as Robin. I'm really not comparing the quality, but like Robin, you knew what he was going to do. You still couldn't do anything about it. Absolutely nothing you could do about it. Yeah, cheers, brother.
Yeah, subscribe to Aaron. He's real. He's real. He's not one of these clickbait fans that just can't criticize his club or has to be horrible to Spurs for no reason. It's proper football conversation. So please, the link's in there. It's Aaron Talks Arsenal. Please, let's get this man going.
Sav, just quickly with that, you know what I mean? There's never a script or an agenda. Do you know what I mean? I've always just processed it and just articulated what I see and feel. Do you know what I mean? There's no script. There's no nothing. It's just honesty. Do you know what I mean? And you never get found out with it. Do you know what I mean? You might get things wrong. Of course you will. Do you know what I mean? You're human. But your opinions never get found out because you're speaking honest. Do you know what I mean? There's no agendas and clickbaity. We know what we're getting.
Do you know what I love about football opinions, Aaron? This is what I love about football opinions. And this is what I like. When I watch you guys talk, you're just normal. I like the chat that's like down the pub. I like the football chat. Yeah. I feel like so many of these shows, it's like everyone's just shouting at each other because it feels like they've got to defend their man rather than, have any when I go on panel shows, if I'm talking about something that's nothing to do with Spurs, so I go, well, what do you think about Zubimendi? If I don't say, oh my God, he's the greatest player I've ever seen, it's, oh, you're Spurs, right? What, you know what I mean? Like, right, if that's the answer to the debate, you've lost. This is Spurs fans in a nutshell. You ready? So Ruben said Dominic Solanke is a great player. Tony said we need a proper striker. Solanke is not that. And this is what I love about football fans. Great. He's not a proper striker. I absolutely, we're brilliant, aren't we, football fans? I'm going to be Ruben. You've said he's a great player, and said should he be first choice? No, maybe not. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask Aaron about this right now.
Yeah, go on.
Can Solanke be considered a great striker? This is a man that has 38 Premier League goals in his career, right? A great striker.
World class, Sav, mate. World class, not great.
I struggle with him. I struggle with him so much, Aaron. And I'm not saying, mate, I do think Frank will get better out of him. I do, right? I think Frank will get 16, 17 league goals. But for me, again, when I listed off all those forwards I've seen at Spurs, this guy just don't. I don't know. What do you make of Solanke?
I'm the same, man. He ain't it, is he? You know, and it was always a dodgy signing to have anyway. I know you signed him off the back of a really solid season for Bournemouth, but that was just the one season. You know, when he went to Liverpool, I know that was a little bit earlier in his career, but he didn't do it. He failed when he stepped up. And I just always thought that was going to happen, you know, after only one good season for Bournemouth. I always sort of thought, yeah, I don't think he's going to cut it at the top level. That's just one good season. And you're paying a lot of money off the back of one good season, especially given the fact that he's failed previously, as I just said, when he stepped up before. I think all roads would just lead into him being bang average. And maybe you're right. Maybe Frank will get a little bit better out of him, but enough more. Is he going to get that amount more to raise your levels? Is he going to go from, would he get 8 goals last season, maybe in the league, 9? Is he going to double that? I can't see it. You know, if you're not going to have a striker, you need 2 wingers banging in goals, and Son's not quite doing that as much as he used to. And of course, now you've got Kudus. You know, you really need 2 prolific wingers if you're going to have a Solanke up top that don't score really. So,
his Premier League ratio, right? Not for Spurs. His Premier League ratio is something like a goal every 3.8, every 3.9, something like that.
Not good.
And I think that's okay if you are playing for a team that's trying to stave relegation. You know what I mean? You know, like those relegated teams, you need that goal that grabs you 13. You need that guy that might grab you 14 and 4 of them are penalties. At Tottenham, and I know I'm not talking about Tottenham like we're Liverpool City, but at Tottenham, we've normally got the guy that does better. We had Sheringham for years, Klinsmann. I mean, even when we brought in players, Defoe and Keane and Berbatov and Harry
Canute and all that, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Canute might not have been the most prolific striker. What a footballer that man was. And now I'm watching Solanke and I'm going, you work hard. I'm never going to knock that. Professional, works hard, gives his all. Probably a bit of a pain to play against because he's awkward. But this is my sentence with him. When he gets the ball, I never feel, and I always judge people against Jermaine Defoe, I never feel that he's going to get the ball out of his feet and bang. Now, you showed a little highlights yesterday of the 5-4 game, right?
Yeah.
Was it 5-4? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? At White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
And the goal, so there's some great goals in that game, but the goal I want to take, look at Defoe in that goal, right? He got the ball about 30 yards out, dribbled past 2 players, shuffled it, and rifled it top corner effortlessly. And I was like, wow. I don't see Dominic Solanke with that natural striker's instinct. That natural instinct, Robbie Fowler had it. When Robbie Fowler got the ball, it didn't matter. Back to goal, 30 yards out, you thought, he's getting a shot off. He's working the keeper. Solanke don't do that for me, mate. He just doesn't. Sorry, he just don't.
He don't because he hasn't. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
In his career, how old is he? He's not.
He's 28 in September, I think.
With one good season under his belt, you know, if he's going to have done it, he probably would have done it by now. Do you know what I mean? I reckon at best, you know, maybe could get 10. Maybe Frank could get 10 goals out of him. But in the grand scheme of things, if he's going to be your main striker, that's just not good enough. You know, it's only good enough if you get Son scoring 15, 20 and Kudus getting 15. Do you know what I mean? Then it's all right, cool. There's a lot of goals there, but you need your main man scoring a bit more than bit more than single digits or low doubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's never going to be good enough, I don't think. If you could get rid of him, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. By the way, guys, please no fake news in the chat. It's like when people do fake scores in watch-alongs. We would listen. My phone would be blowing up like mad if Spurs had the second. Here we go for Morgan Gibbs-White. By the way, no Morgan Gibbs-White. Apparently at training. I always caveat what I say. I hate pretending I know exactly. What I will say is that Mike McGrath of the Telegraph this morning has written that, and Mike McGrath is the one that broke the news of Morgan Gibbs-White. That Aston Villa player Jacob Ramsey apparently is now the #1 target for Forest. Just going to put 2 and 2 together there and suggest maybe that he will be the Morgan Gibbs-White replacement. Maybe I just keep an eye out on that. This is what he said. Said exclusive. Nottingham Forest have made Aston Villa forward Jacob Ramsey a primary summary. I did go to school. I probably
Take 2.
And I'll just edit that bit out. No,
Action.
I won't. Nottingham Forest have made Aston Villa forward Jacob Ramsey a primary summer target to bolster their squad. When previously linked with clubs, a potential fee has been upwards of 30 million. Read the full story here. Because, look, we know that Aston Villa, we know that Forest have tried to get Bakayoko and he signed, I believe, for RB Leipzig. We know that they've tried to go for Wissa and offered like 25 million quid, and I think Brentford laughed. And now they're looking at Ramsey. So maybe Forest are just trying to teach Spurs a lesson. Let me ask Aaron about that.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys, smash that like button. We should be at 300. We're at 219. And big up for the super chat. The first one of the day. Maybe we start a super sticker train. Who knows? Big up Rob Welsh, who has said, Arsenal fan, nice guy. It's very confusing. Listen, there are some brilliant Arsenal creators. Just the problem I have with some of them is some of them just shout a lot. And but it's a big up. And if you want to see Aaron's on Aaron Talks Arsenal, his link's going in the chat again from one of my mods very soon. Hint, hint. You can find him as well. Places like Lee Gunner. I think you might have all heard of Lee Gunner. He's a small Arsenal YouTuber, but he's working his way up there.
He'll get there. He'll get there.
He'll get there. Yeah, I just think he needs to up his 9-hour streams to more 12, 13 hours, but he'll get there. Big up to Lee, wherever you are, Lee. You're welcome to join, but I know he's too big and famous for my channel. Big up, Lee Gunner. Let me ask you about the situation that's dominating Spurs right now is Morgan Gibbs-White, right? Tapping up. And listen, I'm going to ask you some loaded questions, and then you can just run with it. One, how bloody annoying is Marinakis, the Forest chairman? He's slowly becoming a pantomime villain. Two, do you think what Spurs have done is wrong? And three, what do you think about Morgan Gibbs-White as a footballer?
I'll answer the last one because I'm not going to lie. I don't know that much about the tapping up thing, to be fair. So you've sort of caught me there.
That's right.
Following that. But yeah, like, mate, he'll fit right in with you boys, I reckon. At the start of the window, I think I see was it Manchester City? I think we're linked with him for big dough or something like that. So again,
like 70 million apparently.
Was it something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Dough, wasn't it? So again, I mean, it seems like you're relatively unchallenged for him, and obviously that's all well and good for you boys, because it just means that negotiations are easier, get him in the door quicker. It's another smart signing. Yeah, and I think that's what you need to be doing. They're the level, at least the minimal level of signing that Spurs need to come in the door. He improves your squad, improves your first team.
Yeah,
and along with Kudus, do you know what I mean? That's the right avenue you boys need to be going down. I think it's solid signings, but I'll sort of say what I said earlier. You've got to keep that going. Another 2 or 3 signings, I reckon, for you boys. And just quickly as well, it's nothing to do with the tapping up thing, right? But when we was talking about old Spurs strikers, I was sitting there and I was having proper in La La Land there and thinking about your old players back in the day. And I got names of Sergei Rebrov. Do you remember Sergei Rebrov? You had Everson.
I remember Sergei. Yeah. Everson. Never a bad word said about Stefan Everson. Our Norwegian dynamo. Yeah. My lasting memories of Stefan Everson is him bustling down the right wing in the cup final against Leicester City, scrambling a crossover and Alan Nilsson diving header to beat City. Yeah, God. Yeah, Stefan Everson. Yeah, Rebrov, all the promise in the world. It just weren't right for him.
Yeah.
It just weren't right. But yeah.
Sorry,
Anyway.
them names are rolling in my
No,
head.
you're right. You're right.
I had to get them out. I was sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
just counting back all the old school sort of Spursy strikers. I know when a striker, but a bit Darren Anderton. I never used to mind him, to be fair, Darren Anderton. Not the best in business. I know when a striker, but you had some good players, man.
Yeah, we've always had good players. We just never have enough at once to be that team. Do you know what I mean? Like we've had, if you put together a Spurs 11 from the Premier League era, I mean, we've got people in there like Luka Modric and David Ginola and Klinsmann.
You would have had Harry Kane in that squad instead of Adi Bayor. You know, where you had Scotty Parker, Gareth Bale, Modric, Aaron Lennon.
And
Van der Vaart. Van der Vaart. That's the one I was thinking of. Van der Vaart.
Yeah.
You had everything but a striker, and then obviously you let them go, and then you got Harry Kane in, and just didn't have the other bits. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying when it's done. Isn't it?
When we did have Harry Kane, and we were, I suppose we were where you are now. You know, we had that season, we had second and third where we finished, and it was like we were bloody good at the back, right? We were good to watch. We just never. By the way, breaking news on Sky Sports is about Arsenal. Is Mosquera expected to arrive in England today and begin medical? We'll talk about him a bit later, but yeah, you're guy Mosquera, so you're bulking out your defence. And for anyone else that cares, transfer breaking news is that Bournemouth goalkeeper Mark Travers has completed his medical at Everton ahead of a transfer for 4 million plus add-ons. 4 million plus add-ons. I'm sure the Everton fans are losing their mind over content for Travers. And Arsenal signed goalkeeper Annika Borbe following her departure from Wolfsburg. So the Arsenal women are doing deals as well. And Brentford have now officially completed the signing of Jordan Henderson on a free, which I think is a good professional signing for them. So essentially what's happened, right? Essentially what's happened with Morgan Gibbs-White is he had a release clause that was secret, right? Which completely baffles me. Like, why would you have a secret release clause? Like, it's there for a reason. Anyway, what's happened is Spurs have gone in and bid. Big up. Look, I don't know. Have you ever worked with Nick before?
Yeah, I have. Big up, Nick.
How you doing, Nick?
I've always jumped on mine before. You haven't?
Boys, what's going on?
It's Nick from the football club. Everybody's favourite social content creator. Commentator. Here he is, all the way from Australia. How are you?
Not bad, man. It's been a busy day doing pre-wedding bits and pieces. Not for a few months, but I got to get bits and pieces out of the way. Yeah, been a hectic day. Come home. Okay, let's watch something. Okay, Savva's live perfect. Aaron's on perfect. Let's listen. And I get the call up. I'm saying, you know what? I'm there.
Yeah, you got the you've been promoted from the youth team into the first team, so you can't mess this up, Nick. All right, you can't mess it up. It's your one chance. Wedding, your wedding, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yeah. Mine, yeah.
And who is the poor lady? Is she Arsenal, Liverpool as well? Is she a Liverpool fan? Does she care?
Nah, she doesn't. She's not really into it. Anything Liverpool, she refers to it as Manchester United just to piss me off, and she does a good job at it.
Sure.
But apart from that, nah, it's chill.
Yeah.
It's chill. It's all chill.
Good. Well, look, you've joined at a portion. I was just explaining. Aaron's not been following it. I don't know how closely you have, but I'll run through it, and then apologies if anyone knew this. So essentially, Morgan Gibbs-White had a release clause. Not the first player in the history of football to have one, but it was secret. It was an NDA. God knows why you would have one. And then what happened is Spurs have gone and bid the exact number of the release clause and with the exact terms. So, for example, if it was 60 million and £10, plus it can be paid over 2 payments. I'm not saying it is that, but Spurs have hit it nail on the head, and Forest are going, how the fuck did you know this? How did you know this? You've been tapping up the player. The agents told you, or the players told you. Marinakis has thrown his toys out the pram because that's what he does. And now we're all sitting here in limbo. Gibbs-White at training yesterday, apparently not at training today. Spurs fans are sitting there going, this is Spursy. What do you make of it, gentlemen? Is this just a load of absolute nonsense, or a Forest well within their rights to be pissed off that we paid what they wanted for a player?
Well, I'll let you go, Nick. I've already done a lot of waffling, so I'll let you go first, my friend.
Yeah, no, good. This was foreign to me. So I'm like, I see Kudus is medical set, whatever. That's all good and well, no dramas. And then you see, oh, they're also getting Morgan Gibbs White. And the first thing in my head I'm thinking is like, Wolfie. What's Wolfie's reaction going to be to this?
Yeah,
That man gave so much
everyone's
prop.
first fault, Nick. That was everyone's
man-
first fault.
He gave so much prop to Morgan Gibbs White all of last season, and then Manchester like, oh yeah, you can't afford him, this and that, blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, he can go if he wants. That's not a problem. He can go. Yeah, whatever. Just leave. And then it turns out, well, actually, there's a tapping up, and there was information revealed that really only should have been revealed by the club, not the agent, whatever it is. And then he's gone on this whole defense league of like, how dare Tottenham do this? Look at them trying to defraud us, etc. I'm like, hang on a second. You were telling this guy he can leave, and now all of a sudden, because it's worked in your favor, you want to defend this man. That was first and foremost. The second part is, are we surprised that Marinakis has decided to do this? Because it's not the first time that he's sort of like puffed his chest and said, I don't like this, I'm going to speak out. It was the referee's situation. Then he was walking onto the pitch to discuss whatever it discussed last season with, what's his name?
Oh, Nuno.
No, thank you. NES. And now it's this. And look, maybe they're well within their right, saying, hang on a second, this information should not have been privy to you without our know-how, and you've gone behind our backs, tapped up the player, etc., etc. So now we're going to try and delay this and stop it. Effectively, if that's the case, they should be going after the agent that spoke up, really. They can't be going after Tottenham because Tottenham spoke to the agent and the agent released something that really shouldn't have been known to anybody else. I don't think it's going to stop it. I think it will still continue because, well, it costs 65 million. Cool, here's 65 million. Oh, that happens to be the release clause. Okay, well, then it's business as usual after that for the transfer. Unless, of course, there's some clause that states Section 12B, line 1, if this information is made public without the prior knowledge of Nottingham Forest, then the deal is null and void. I don't see that from happening.
Yeah, just quickly, by the way, sorry, just getting more news through that Gibbs White was not at training today. Reports also coming through now that he has put a transfer request in. Look, backing on from that, guys. Like, the thing is, I was asking Wolfie yesterday, and I have sent in the link, by the way. He did have a meeting at 11, and he said if he's finished, he'll come on. And everyone gets so frustrated with Wolfie, but I love streaming with Wolfie. He is brilliant. He is YouTube. I love Wolfie.
Yeah, it's cool.
I said yesterday, I can't understand what it actually is that Nottingham Forest are hoping to get out of taking Spurs down. Like they've reported us to the Premier League, right? I can't understand. Are they trying to delay the transfer? Are they trying to completely take it off the table, but now everyone knows what his release clause is, right? So somebody else will just come in and go, boom. I don't get, guys. What are Forest doing is surely they want to get on with their window and they want the 60 million. Surely we've got to get on with our plans. Our first pre-season game is Saturday against Reading. We wanted Morgan Gibbs White for that. And then the week after we fly to South Korea. Surely this is just no good for anyone, is it?
Yeah. Mate, I don't actually understand what their problem is, really. Because they've obviously, when negotiating with the player, they've agreed with the player and agent that there's a release clause in there. It's been met. What's the problem? Like, you are literally paying the amount of money they agreed to let him go. Like I don't get why they're being all babyish over it. Honestly, you've essentially paid the release clause. Oh, so what? You paid the money. That's it. What? Yeah. I don't even get why they would hide it anyway. Like, it's a release clause. You know, what's the if you're going to try and hide it? What's the point in having it in there? And if someone matches it, what are you crying over? Like, I don't get that part of it. If I'm being honest with you. That's a little bit bonkers to me. It's like, yeah, we value him at £65 million, and someone comes in paying it. Oh, you're taking the piss, paying 65 million quid. I don't get it. It's madness. But like I said, I haven't really been following it too much. But if that's the case, man, and you're just paying the money for it, I don't get what their problem is. I really don't.
They're annoyed that we knew. They're annoyed that we knew. And listen, I mean, it's mad. It's like someone buying my house and being annoyed that I said I want. By the way, my house isn't worth £1 million. It's like me saying my house is worth £1 million. Please sell my house.
Worth 2.
Yes, it's worth 2 million. Yeah. The estate. Yeah. Well, I am in London and everything's bloody expensive. And it's like the estate agent going, "Oh, I've got you the million you wanted." Oh, what? How did they know? I wanted 1.2. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it's mental. But now we're hearing that they're after Jacob Ramsey. You know, it kind of feels like, it kind of feels like it might be a case of Forest just playing a little bit of mind games, Nick. Maybe just a little bit of a let's drag the point out so that we can flex a little bit of muscles. But I think this is crazy, man. I just think this is dumb for both football clubs right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, you have a player there who's worth 65 million as per your release clause states. Fair enough. Oh, somehow you found out. Cool. Well, this is what he costs. We want to have him. How they found out now? Well, what's the word? Conjuncture or whatever it is. It's like irrelevant in that sense. They're like, if Liverpool, for example, have a player, let's say, I don't know, Gravenberch, for example, and he's got a 55 million release clause, but only the club and the agent know that. If the agent speaks up, I'm looking to knock on the agent's front door and saying, what the fuck are you doing speaking up about this? Like, what is wrong with you? Ain't nothing. The player didn't say it as far as we know. And if the player did speak up, well, that's for Nottingham Forest to, discipline him or whoever it may be. Or if it's Gravenberch, for example, in the bit I'm giving in there, it does sound like it's a lot of like just trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, because he's our player. How did you find out it cost that much money? You need to go through us. Nobody circumnavigates this. Even the dog agrees. No one circumnavigates this. Yeah, it's all good. It's just one of those things where it just happens in the transfer business. Like, are you telling me every single transfer has gone according to plan? No chance. There's always been some tapping up, and apparently we tapped up Virgil, took him to a dinner in Blackpool, whatever the story was back then and shit like that. Like, these things happen in football, and the deal gets made. You get money for the player, such as is the terms. How they found out ultimately somewhat becomes irrelevant if a deal happens to go through.
But imagine like having a secret release clause. Like, for me, I can't wrap my head around this. The whole point of a release clause is, surely if Spurs had phoned Forest and said, we want Morgan Gibbs-White, what's your price? Right? Surely at some point they would have had to disclose the release clause. Or are they just hoping that Spurs would have gone 70 and gone above the release clause? You know what I mean? I just find it all a little bit, maybe because I'm Spurs in this scenario, maybe I'm being a bit biased and not looking at it from both sides, but it just seems stupid. You've got the clause, you've got the fee, move on. Just seems silly.
Yeah, you make a point. Like, if it's not 65, if they want 70, for example, if they said we want 70, well, that's more than the fee anyway. So, all right, cool, no problems. Like, okay, done deal. But it happened to be exactly 65 mil, and they probably told him, possibly. If someone broke an NDA, I'd be looking at the person who broke the NDA. I'd be looking at them. I wouldn't be going to Tottenham saying, how dare you? It's like, hang on, we asked the question, we got given an answer. Not my fault. Someone decided to speak up. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Simon Jordan yesterday. I love Simon Jordan, by the way. I know a lot of people don't. I love Simon Jordan. I could watch this man talk all day long because he breaks down arguments very, very well. And I wish I was more like him. He turned around and he said, three parties would have known about this release clause. The club, i.e. Forest, the player, Gibbs-White, and his agent. Right? They're the three people that knew. So, in essence, if Tottenham have got hold of this information, it's easy to say, well, Tottenham have tapped up. But what if the agents turn around and gone, by the way, you want Morgan? Yeah, he's going to join you, but this is the release clause. Why are they not suing the agent? Why are they not, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels
what's wrong with that, though? I don't get, even if the agent has said, oh, everyone, he's got a 65 million release clause. So, like they've agreed to it, Nottingham Forest. Like, if you don't want a release clause in there, don't agree to have a release clause in there then. And you know what? If you want 70 million, don't agree to a 65 million one. I think it's madness. Like, oh, surely they should be common things then, because it's basically you're saying this is how much you can buy our player for. It should be common knowledge. Everyone's release clause. For me, that's what I think. If you don't like it, don't have release clauses in your players' contracts.
Exactly.
For me, it's a ridiculousness. At the end of the day, you're paying them a lot of money for him, and they should be happy with that. And if they wanted 70 million, then don't give them a 65 million release clause. It's not rocket science, is it? That's it.
Exactly.
It's madness. It's tough.
See, the thing for me is they, when it was announced, so this all went down on Thursday, right? The signing went down on Thursday, so to speak. We were sitting here at about 3:00 did a stream where it was like, oh, nothing, we've had kudos, this is brilliant. And then it all broke. And within 2 hours, we had the here we go. And it was like, Spurs don't do this. Spurs normally drag it on for 2 months. Like, this is weird. And it was said that Nottingham Forest have given permission to Morgan Gibbs-White to travel to London for a medical. So what I want to know is what happened between them giving permission and the next day of, hang on, how did they? I think they've messed up their end administratively, if that's the word. That's a very difficult word to say, by the way. I think I need a bit of credit for that. I think they've messed up. Thank you. And I'm not going to attempt it again because now, hang on, I will. Right. I think they messed up administratively. Yes. Boom.
Oh, 2 for 2.
2 from 2.
I know, man. I know. I'm going to stop there while I'm ahead.
Not pissing about, are you, this morning?
I know. To think I grew up in South London where we say things like ain't and in it.
What phase is Savva's pronunciation in?
Phase year 42. I've got a feeling that I don't think they've done it right at their end, guys. I feel like they've kind of looked at this afterwards and gone, shit, we've messed up here. I think we've messed up properly. And I don't know whether it was the previous people to Marinakis that would have put that clause in. Maybe he didn't know the exact state of the clause. I can tell you this. No matter how much we talk badly of my chairman, Daniel Levy, right? My chairman, our chairman, just sounding like Sean now, our chairman would have exactly known. Our chairman would have been all over this, right? He is it. There's not an I and a T that, you know what I mean, that he doesn't know about. So I just think this is probably sour grapes, guys. But
yeah, definitely.
Just crack on. Listen, they got 55 million last week for Alanga, right? You're about to get 60 million for Morgan Gibbs-White. Why don't you just say, right, get it in. We've got a month till the season starts. Yeah. Let's go and spend that 115 million pounds. But this guy, let's move away from the Spurs bit. Marinakis wants war with everyone, doesn't he? Gary Neville, Nuno. He had the thing with like now with the whole Crystal Palace writing. We debated this yesterday. Right into bloody UEFA, and I don't like him. He's not on my Christmas card list, guys. No, not at all.
And if he's not on yours, he's not on mine, Sav.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, that's 2 cards he's missing out on. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He just...
And we buy the good cards. Do you know what I mean? That's it. We don't buy the cheap ones, mate. He's really missed out. He has. Do you know what I mean?
My question is though, when Morgan Gibbs-White was linked to Man City, they were prepared to give what, 100 mil? Was that right? 80 mil or something like that?
I think they were told 100 mil, and I think they wanted to offer. I don't know because they didn't bid, right? So we'll never.
Yeah. So my thing is, if they bid, they might have at least sold him off for 100 mil. But now that, hang on a second, like you said, now people know that the release clause is 65. Is like, shit, someone else can come in for 70 then. Someone can come in for 75. Well, on one hand, you're getting more money for the player. On two, a bit of, again, secret information has been leaked to the public. And it's sort of like makes it look like you can't trust people within your own organization, which is maybe he's taking it out on the wrong people, maybe.
Well, somebody's just said to me this here, and I'm not going to say who, but somebody's just said to me here, there's no threat to Tottenham at all. If Forest were that upset, they would have made these claims at 3 p.m. Thursday rather than agreeing for him to go to his medical. Yeah. If Forest refused to play ball, Morgan Gibbs-White can sue the club for breach of contract, and the clause is legally binding, and they agreed to it. So I feel...
Messy.
Huh?
It could get a little messy then if it continues like this, then really, couldn't it?
I just feel common sense. Someone needs to step in with common sense here and just say to Marinakis, like, what are you hoping for? Like, what is he hoping that Spurs turn around and go, oh, sorry, here's an extra 5 million. It's 65. Here's 10 million. If he's hoping for that, I don't think he knows Mr. Daniel Levy. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he knows Daniel Levy if he thinks that's happening. But surely, anyway, it is what it is. We'll find out later today probably whether or not Gibbs-White was at training. If he wasn't, I think that tells the story. I'm just hoping from a Spurs point of view that someone at the Premier League or the FA or whoever's dealing with this just kind of gets this done quickly. Maybe, I don't slap Spurs on the wrist, pay £1 million. I don't know, just something. Because, we were all really happy Spurs fans last Thursday, guys. We were like pigs in shit. 2 signings in 24 hours. Oh, my God, they're going on pre-season. And now we're all sitting here going, Spursy. Only Spurs could be in a scenario like this. So it is what it is.
The only thing I can think of is if Tottenham obtained that information by nefarious means. That's the only thing I can think of if that's what it's going after. Like if they gave a little sweetener, like, look, if we sign this player, we'll give you a little bit extra, like, kickback, agent's fee, whatever it is. Unless something like that's going on, I don't see how Tottenham would have had the power to get this information out of this agent or whoever it was that revealed the information.
Mm. Someone's just quickly, the last bit that the person's added on to me here is, and to really muddy the waters, Wolves could also sue for the 10% they are entitled to from the clause that they have in his contract.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, a little messy.
I think they're annoyed, right? They bought this player and they're going to make something like £12 million profit. And I think that they think they should be getting a lot more, but that's life. That's life, right?
Yeah, tough. The thing is that I just don't get where the sulk and all of that is. Like I just don't get it. He's valued at 65 million max because he's got a release clause. Tough, isn't it? This should be a straightforward transfer. Like how it's gone on to all of this, I'll never really know. Do you know what I mean? It should be straightforward. You've paid the money. He wants to come. He's been down for a medical, maybe. It's just them, I think, being a little bit bitter and spiteful. And it's frustrating because they'll only harm themselves, Nottingham Forest, because like you said, Zav, they need to get someone else in. And the longer they prolong this, the longer that they're really not finding their replacement. So they're really shooting themselves in the foot, really. It is what it is, isn't it? Sodom.
Absolutely. Look, let's move away from Morgan Gibbs-White. Let's have a little look. I want to talk to you guys about this scenario that's flying around. You got a bit of a merry-go-round. Now Arsenal have secured Gyökeres. It's now started the striker merry-go-round. You've got Hugo Ekitike in talks with Newcastle. That's now getting everybody very excited that, Isak's leaving. Newcastle are claiming it's to play with Isak. Everyone in the world is claiming that Isak will leave because Newcastle can't play so up front and that Isak will be going to your boys, Nick, over at Liverpool. And of course, we're all reading into this, getting 2 and 2 and getting 1,008 as the answer, but it's good fun. Nick, what's your take on this? Ekitike to Newcastle as well as Isak, or is Isak off?
See, that's the thing. It's like if Isak is their main guy and you're bringing someone in worth 80 mil, he ain't going to be a bench player. You're not bringing someone with 80 mil to be on the bench unless you start him and you see he's actually like dog poo. And then you put him on the bench and say, okay, well, your position's only good for the bench until you prove to us that you can be a starting player. Because Isak does have injuries every now and again. But if they're looking to build a squad for Champions League, Cup runs, go for the Premier League, for example, I understand it. But for 80 million, that's not a player you bring in to sit on a bench and be a backup. If they want to play with 2 strikers, by all means, give it a crack. I'm going to wish you with that. Go for it. If they want to spend the money, spend the money. But if they're bringing in Ekitike as a Isak replacement, well, then every Liverpool fan's going to be giddy and say, oh, that's it. It's happening. It's on, because we keep seeing reports from Ornstein and Fab and everyone else saying the possibility is still there. It hasn't completely died. It's still on the cards. And at what point do you say to yourself, okay, well, if they sign Ekitike, then Isak definitely is going to say, well, you're bringing in this guy to, replace me, play alongside with me? Which one is it? If he's going to be a long-term successor, do they keep him for another year, Isak, and then sell him off? Or do they sell him now, get maximum that they can, and then just, take it from there with Ekitike? Because he's only 22 years old, whatever he is. And Isak's sort of like hitting his, mid to late 20s now. Maybe Newcastle are thinking, look, if someone's prepared to offer us 100+ mil for Isak, and we're not going to get that money next season, maybe we'll take a punt on him now, bringing someone who can potentially replace him long term. But as it stands, it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, and who actually knows what the story is? Because, of course, Newcastle fans will say, well, we're bringing him in to build a squad and play together, whereas rivals and Liverpool fans will say, it makes no sense for you to bring in an $80 million player and have him sit on the bench waiting for his go, or to sub on for Isak. So you're going to have two sides of the story.
Do you know what? I think it's quite... Go on, sorry, Sab, go on.
I was just going to say, I've just looked on Transfer Market. He's got... Isak's got 3 years left. So 2028, his contract ends. He's 25 years of age. Is it, Aaron, a little bit of succession planning? Is that what this could be? That maybe, you know what, we'll have them together for a year, knowing that Isak's probably going to go next year. In which case, Yeah, you're not getting as much money next year. I still reckon you can get 100 million from next year, but that's good business from Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. I reckon it is a good, actual, smart thing to do. The thing is, as well, is let's just assume Ekatike is available next summer and Isak gets sold next summer. That value goes right up because people know that they're desperate. I think when you make a signing like 70 million here, he's then got that year. We all know Isak's probably definitely going to go next season. So they'll still get 100 million. They'll still get money back for the outlay that they're going to have on Ekatike. That's an absolute fact. And he's there for a year. He's used to the Premier League then. He's bedded himself in. He's used to the way Newcastle play. I actually reckon it is a good bit of smart planning in terms of a contingency plan. They know they're not going to keep hold of Isak. They know that. And if you can get a striker in now, it's guaranteed your replacement's there. Do you know what I mean? Whereas next summer, they'll go, oh, all right, okay, cool. Well, you've got all of this Isak money. All right, cool. Now Ekatike's 100 million as well, or 90 million. And they're desperate. So, you know what I mean? They need to get someone in. Then, thank you very much. Then all of a sudden, there's a little bit panic stations. Can you get someone in? He's already there now, assuming that he signs. He's there. Year with the players getting used to the system. I reckon it's a great bit of business, if I'm being honest.
It would be interesting to see, though, wouldn't it? I think Nick made a really good point there. I mean, surely, listen, I think if you're Man City in Real Madrid, you can have 80 million pound players sitting on the bench, sure. I mean, not that they do, but I cannot see in any way that Newcastle are going to go, yeah, Hugo, you're going to have to work your way into this team. We've paid 80, 90 million euros, but you're going to work your way in.
Yeah.
But Newcastle play a 4-3-3, don't they? They've got the three powerful midfielders in Gomares, Tonali, and quickly Savva and Jolinton. And then they've got right, left, striker. So Isak, then they've got Alanga now, and Gordon. So this does beg the question, is Ekatike going to float from the left, which we know he can do? Is he going to go up front in a 2? I mean, I think it makes it interesting from a football fan point of view. But what it does do, guys, it gives Newcastle options going into the Champions League, doesn't it? It gives them different ways of playing.
Yeah, another dimension. And like Nick said, he does get little niggly injuries every now and then, Isak. And they've got someone to step in. Now, that's assuming that he comes in and he does the business. But they've got someone there ready to come in, as opposed to if Isak, say he misses 5 games, Isak, who's coming in then for him? You'd much rather an Ekatike coming in. And the thing is, it's like anything, ain't it? Big up. It's like anything. If he comes in and does the business, let's just say hypothetically, Isak does get injured 5 games, 6 games, and Ekatike comes in and absolutely smashes it. Tough, Isak. You're on the bench then, mate. That is what it is. I want the best players playing there. So, he could come in, and I'm not necessarily saying he definitely will nick Isak's spot, but if you come in and do the business, that's what it's all about. That's what you have a squad for. And if someone's playing better, it's like with us and Bukayo Saka. Everyone's so attached to Bukayo Saka, Starboy, this and all of that. If we get someone that comes in and who's playing better than him, bench him. Everyone's like, oh, what about Bukayo Saka? Tough. Who cares? I want the best player playing in the most informed, who's delivering it on the pitch. And if that's going to be Ekatike for him, it might so well be. I reckon it's a really good signing. A lot of teams, considering there's a striker shortage. I mean, come on, Sav. When we was watching football, mate, when we were a kid, you could probably reel off 30 world-class players in like that. Strikers
everywhere. Strikers
like
everywhere.
Whereas now, they're few and far between. Ekatike would probably, and Isak would probably be the 20th best striker in the Premier League 20 years ago. He wouldn't be anywhere. He would be, wouldn't he? When you were saying about Jermaine Defoe would be one of the best strikers in the league right now.
He's always changed. The levels have gone. The levels are gone. By the way, just quickly, please do subscribe to Aaron, but also please subscribe to Nick. We know Aaron's Arsenal. But he's a good Arsenal one. And Nick is all content. Nick is a commentator, would you say, of YouTube?
Yeah, commentary, some football dabblings here and there. But I always say, there's nothing you're going to learn from me football that you can't get from anyone better. So I'm like, I just stick to my niche.
No, listen, please subscribe to Nick. He's always good. He'll keep you informed of what everyone else is doing as well, which is really good. And I first saw Nick when someone messaged me going, have you seen this Australian bloke? I think he's slagging you off. I was like, who is he? Who is he? And I watched it. I was like, no, actually, I like it. He said some nice things. He said some bad things. We're all good. So, yeah, please do subscribe to both of these guys. And their links are in the chat. Here we go. Kate has put in the link for Nick. And
Thank you,
the
Kate.
link is above. I think it was put in by Kate again for Aaron. There we go. So
Appreciate
please
it,
subscribe to these two gentlemen. But guys, it is crazy, right? That again, from my point of view, that Newcastle are going to have two better strikers than my club. That worries me greatly. That I'll have Richarlison and Solanke, and they'll have Isak and Ekitike. But more than anything, Nick, I want to talk about your club, right? Because again, touch on this very softly. Obviously, the news of Jota. We already knew Nunes was going, and obviously with Jota passing away, rest in peace. It really does put Liverpool in a bit of a pickle in terms of if Nunes goes, you haven't actually got a centre forward at the club. As far as I can see, like Gakpo for me is not a centre forward. He's a false everything.
Yep.
Salah's a wide man. Diaz is a wide man. It leaves you in a bit of a bind. So where are you going to go if Isak isn't the guy? Who's your target? And why didn't you go for Gyökeres? Why haven't you gone for João Pedro or Isak? Like, what do you do?
I mean, João Pedro would have been a good player to bring in there, like that number 10 false nine type of player. Some people call him like a Roberto Firmino false nine type of player, and you can see what he's doing at Chelsea already. So, 3 goals in 2 games, so nothing wrong with that. And yeah, as I say, Josh, big shout out to Josh in the chat. It says links with Mateta at Palace, which that come out of left field. So I don't know, are we getting like a two player at a discount with Gahey and Mateta? I don't know what's happening with that Gahey situation as well now, but the striker one is tough. Obviously the passing of Jota obviously was clearly obviously like sudden and unexpected, and it was like, okay, moving towards the summer, are we going to keep both players? Are we going to sell Darwin, or what's going to happen? And now with the situation we're at now, we only have Darwin as a recognised striker. Chiesa is not a striker. Salah's not a striker. As you said, Gakpo on a winger. Diaz played false line, but he's not, a number 9 at that front there. So we are going to have to bring in a striker. As I said earlier on, the talks with Isak, is that going to happen? That's a possibility, maybe, depending on what happens there. We will link with Ekitike. But now it looks like Ekitike is going to go to Newcastle. So that's one out of the bag. So if it's Isak and Ekitike gone, that leaves only one striker on the market that's been touted at Arsenal, and that is Benjamin Sesko. Now, I'm not saying he is a target, but if you don't have Ekitike, you don't have Gyökeres, you don't have Isak, Sesko was the only other striker out there. I can't think of any other striker out there that is looking for a new club, or that clubs, are looking to sign at the moment. Granted, I haven't paid that much attention lately, but if we're looking at Mateta as a potential replacement, I mean, I wouldn't say no, but do you start him over Darwin in this instance here? Is he going to fit this, slot system? We've got the fullbacks, we've got Wirtz in the mix now as well, which is nice. So it will be a little bit of a different style of play. What are we going to do? Balls into space? Are we going to play striker back to goal, depending on who it is? And even now, Napoli look like they're moving away from the deal. Apparently, Saudis are back in for Darwin. So if we do sell him, then we have to bring in a striker one way or another. But is it going to be the right striker if you want to retain a title?
I think for me, if you do get Benjamin Sesko, I know you're not heavily linked with him, but if you do, I think he's just another Darwin Núñez, to be fair. I just think you'll be replacing almost like for like, unproven, doesn't really score when you need him to score, quite wasteful. That is Benjamin Sesko. Over the last 3 seasons, and the 3rd season, he was in the Austrian league, 16 goals. And then he got to the Bundesliga, regressed at 14 goals, and last season, 13 goals. That's what you've got already. That's why I was very, very animated about not getting Benjamin Sesko at Arsenal Football Club, because he averages 13 league goals over the last 3 seasons. And we've already got Gabriel Jesus, who is highest goal scorer in his 13 league goals. Havertz is highest is 13. So what's the point in replacing a 13-goal season striker with a 13-goal a season striker? And that's what I reckon he'll do for you lot. I just don't. Yeah. I just think it's a pointless signing. You might as well just keep Darwin Núñez. If
that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, we might as well keep Darwin there. He's been there for a couple of years. Okay, yes, he's given us grief, but maybe a new style of play. maybe it'll be better for him if he'll thrive better instead of having crosses from wide. Maybe he'll thrive better, having balls played through the middle, perhaps. If that's going to be Wirtz or McAllister, whoever that may be. And just earlier on today, I saw something mad retweeted from Anfield Sector, care of David Ornstein. I don't know where these links materialize from, but Nicholas Jackson is a player Hughes liked when he was with Bournemouth. If the Senegal international was not a Chelsea player, he might be a more realistic candidate. Like, piss off, man. We already have Darwin Núñez at home. We don't need the African version of Darwin Núñez. We've got South American Darwin Núñez now. We don't need another player like that. Like, why are these club games for players?
Nick, have you seen it? He's being linked, by the way. Nicholas Jackson is being linked with Man United, Liverpool.
I saw that.
And somebody else he was linked with. And Unai Emery. Because Unai Emery gave him his debut, right? At Villarreal, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
So I've never seen, listen, by the way, I don't think he's a terrible player. I don't think he's brilliant. I think he's your second striker. For me, I think that's the guy that if your main guys are injured, blah, blah, blah. By the way, everyone, bad news. Tom Barkley of The Sun is saying that he's been informed by his sources that Morgan Gibbs-White is at training today for Nottingham Forest. So he's going to rumble on, innit? He's going to rumble on. Maybe he was just there handing in his transfer request. Who knows? But yeah, you're right. Like, it would feel weird for a club like Liverpool, even Man United, to go for a player like Nicholas Jackson. But then when you look at the other options, like Mateta, I like Mateta. Is he the league winning striker? Is he that level that puts fear into centre backs and you think this guy's going to propel us in the dark times where we're playing badly? He's going to take us through the other side to win games and trophies. I'm not sure they exist. Vlahovic.
Yeah, I was just going to say, who is that guy?
Right?
After Gyökeres, who is that guy available?
Yeah.
PK, assuming that he goes, there's just no one. The striker pool is shocking, isn't it, really? It just is.
I don't know. It's hard to pick strikers nowadays, man. Like,
someone said in the chat,
yeah. Oh, but attitude problem, wages, X, Y, Z. It's like, well, shit, man. If you want to retain something, you got to pay the money for it.
Yeah. I just don't know where. I don't know where it is. Like, I'm looking around the world. I always do this game where I say, over the last 5 years, who can name me strikers that score 20 plus, 25 plus every year? And when you look outside of Kane, Lewandowski, Haaland, Lautaro Martinez, right? Who every season does it? We've had strikers that do it every now and then. Osman's had a year where he's banged in over 20. Isak's had a year or two. But do you know what I mean, guys? Where's the out-and-out goal scorers that put the fear of the football gods into defenders? Where are they?
Yeah, they just don't exist. It's as simple as that. Once you start reeling off, like you said, the Kanes, the Lewandowskis, and then Mbappe, Haaland, then you're like, oh.
Where do you go from there?
Around after 4. Then you go down a tier. You're like, oh, yeah, Gyökeres had a good one. Then you're like, let's go down another tier. All of a sudden, you've dropped tiers and you're only on 6 players. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible, really, isn't it? I think football in general, everything about football, every single thing. I think the fans, I reckon the quality of football, and I reckon the quality of player, it's nowhere near what it was 20, 30 years ago. Not everything's regressed. Everything has.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's going to be interesting because I do think that at the moment, if you must have a plan, Liverpool. Like, Liverpool must have a plan if Núñez is going. There's no way you go into the season with Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, and am I missing one?
That's pretty much it there. Jota would have been the other striker, but obviously, rest in peace.
Salah, Gakpo, Diaz. Like, you can't go. That's not. I'm afraid. I don't think that's enough to win you a title and get you through 4 competitions.
No, it's not. It's not.
Hang on, here we go. Breaking news. There is breaking news that involves Spurs. But it's just gone off my screen. I just saw Tottenham. So I just saw Tottenham. I'll get it when it comes back round. I'll rudely jump in and say what it is. So please forgive me when I'm rude in a second. But Nick, you're going to need two more at least. You're going to need two forwards. And are you worried though that this could be the difference now between winning a league and not? That are you concerned then if you can't get Isak? Are you concerned that you didn't go for Ekatike or you didn't go for Gyökeres? Is it a bit odd to you?
I don't know, man. Like, this is the thing. I think it's clear Liverpool need a proper striker, someone who's going to score you like 20 goals. Like, if Darwin could finish, he'd be Golden Boot winner. All right, let's just put it bluntly. A lot of people are saying man was on demon mode when he had short hair. He shaved his head. You know, obviously, this man's going to have an all-timer season. And look, touch wood, you never know. We might keep him and he might have a 25 Premier League goal season. Who the hell knows? Different style of play. Maybe, you know, a different load off his shoulders. Maybe assists going to be coming from different directions and not going everything through Salah. Maybe playing differently. Who the hell knows? But we still need a second striker. We don't have a second striker. That's ultimately the thing there. If Darwin's going to be main, we need a second striker. If you say, oh, we'll bring in Mateta. Does Mateta want to come to Liverpool, challenge for a title, try go back-to-back, and be a player off the bench, or maybe starting games where things aren't working, a different type link-up play? Because, you know, Darwin ain't really a link-up type of player. Ekatike was meant to be that player. If he's gone to Newcastle, then that's not happening. And there goes that striker. Bringing Sesko in after, you know, all of the, you know, yes and no's from Arsenal, pros and cons. We want him, do not want him. Oh, Gyökeres, but he's young. He can... Developing is all good and well, but when you're a team ready to win now, you don't need development players. You need win now players, which is why I even said, like, even I was saying, like, you know, Arsenal need a Gyökeres because you'll win now. Win the league now, and then if Gyökeres goes after a year or two, then you can at least bring in the next player who can sort of like take over from him and then work on building to the next like step there. If you're a project team, then yes, you'll be taking your time with players, nurturing them, getting them up to speed, and then hitting the highs after 2-3 years. Some clubs don't have 2-3 years. They want to win now. And we need to win now. I wouldn't want a player coming in who's learning on the job, shall we say, and expecting them to lead our line. For me, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
No, I make you absolutely right. By the way, that news coming through was the breaking news was that Nottingham Forest are adamant that Morgan Gibbs-White is not for sale. However, Sky Sports News understand that Tottenham are still keen to sign the England midfielder. This is just going to get boring and messy, isn't it? It's just going to be. If you was, can I just quickly go away? We'll come back to Liverpool. If you were Spurs, would you still pursue this, or would you just go, right, sod this? We've got the money. Let's go and look at another target.
It depends. It depends how far it is down the line. You know what I mean? And have you got someone else to straight away jump to? You know, where you can sort of divert to someone else straight away, because it seems like you've got quite a lot of groundwork that's been put into this transfer. I don't know if you said earlier he's done he was on his way down to do a medical, fees and all that talks. Have you got someone to pivot to? I don't know. Like if I was you, I'd probably stick with it. But like anything, it'll have an expiry date, an expiry time in terms of how long do you allow it. I reckon if you've not really made any progress by the end of the week, probably we'll have to divert over to another signing, to be fair. But it's just one of them things, I think. You don't want a saga, especially. How many signings have you made? Is it just Kudu so far? Because you don't want to get caught in a saga, do you? You know, you want to concentrate on signing other players. The last thing you want is just being dragged around, and then he don't want to sign. Then we still do this. It's August. Then you're having your pants pulled down by another signing because they're like, oh, you need a midfielder. All right, cool. Well, you know, we had 70 million for him. Now it's 80. You know what I mean? I think it's just needless. Maybe you'll have to divert, like I said, at the end of the week. But yeah, I reckon you should still try and sign him, to be fair. But yeah.
It's mad. Just quickly, I'm going to show this just for the majority of Spurs fans. Sorry for those who are not Spurs, but I mean, I guess I am a Spurs channel. So here we go. So Ben Jacobs, I haven't read this. I'm reading this at the same time as you lot are. Ben Jacobs has just tweeted this and said, Morgan Gibbs-White is training with Nottingham Forest as he awaits clarification on his future. Forest prepared to take legal action, alleging Spurs learned of Gibbs-White's 60 million clause illegally. Gibbs-White remains keen on the move, but will continue his pre-season as normal. Told he has no desire to leave Forest on bad terms. Club remain in talks with the deal not off yet. I mean, fuck my life. Oh my God. Honestly, guys, only Tottenham. I'm sure many fans will say it's about their own club. Only my club could be involved in this. Only my club could sign 2 players in 24 hours, only for one of them to then be illegal, and then we're still in talks the following week. I'm just. Oh.
If he's got a release clause though, like I don't understand why there's an issue at the club, because if he genuinely has and you're willing to pay for it, and I'm sure you said earlier it's on the same terms as what the release clause would have been, then it's like, well, don't really matter what Nottingham Forest want. If you've released a clause, it's Talar. Look, there's nothing they can do about it. That's what I don't understand when I'm thinking about it, why it should be a saga. So if you're willing to pay the transfer release clause, then job done. Bye-bye Forest. You can't do anything.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, people saying that there's people like Javi Simons available for 60 million. I mean, yeah, look, there are players available, I'm sure, but I'm guessing if Spurs don't drop out, I'm guessing it's because they feel a deal can get done. Just quickly on the super chat front, big up to Aris, who's put in a super sticker. Come on, guys, let's get a super sticker train going. Fun fact: if everyone stuck in a £1 super sticker, we'd make £700 in a minute. Just saying. I'm not expecting everyone to, but I'm just saying that's how life works. Big up, Aris. Thank you very much. Always very generous with the super stickers. You never say anything. One day, I'd love you to put one in and say something so I can read it out for you. Big up to you, Aris. Really appreciate that. Daniel Field has continued the super sticker train. Big up to you, Daniel. Always on the train. Big up to you, my man, as is George. Thank you very much. Channel member and one of my mods as well. Big up to you, George. And George has come in and said, thanks for coming on, Aaron. Good luck for next season. We're getting good lucks. Good lucks to the Arsenal. I'm not sure we've got to go that far, George. But thank you very much for the super stick. I really appreciate it.
Big up, man. Big up.
Guys, I want to talk about the title race. And we can only talk about it as it stands, right? So we can speculate on Isak's going here and he's going there. As it stands, and I'll allow that Gyökeres is an Arsenal player. I'll allow that because I think we know it's done. What are we saying for the title race? City have gone big over the last 2 windows. City have spent something like 350 million. Liverpool have gone big. Obviously, we talked about their striker situation, but Liverpool have gone big with players like Wirtz and Kirkes and Frimpong. Arsenal, you've already spent 200 million. Looking at spending more. Chelsea, are they a dark horse? Where are we at, guys? Are we looking for a better title race this year? Who's winning it? Who's your dark horse? Everyone in the chat, let me know as well. So I want who's winning it and who's your dark horse to win it.
Go on, Nick, I'll let you go.
I'll let you go.
I mean, look, as defending champions, I think it's always down to you as defending champions. Obviously, context like when Leicester won it, I don't think many people saw Leicester being back-to-back champions. But in terms of like the Liverpool team, I think many people expect Liverpool to go back-to-back. At least I expect it as well. Now, some things do need to, take shape, a striker situation, maybe another centre-back, for example. And I think, okay, let's make this happen. City buying the players they bought in January, getting them back into top 4, Champions League and whatnot, I think they're going to be primed to go again because I think they want to rectify their mishaps of the previous season. Arsenal getting the striker that everyone said they needed. They got their gunman. I was listening to I think it was Hooks on Northside earlier yesterday for you guys, earlier today for me, and it was saying, I'm just saying that Arsenal finished second without a gunman. Okay, and I'm just like, and Lee's like, okay, so Arsenal winning the league, and he's like, no, what I'm saying is Arsenal finished second without a gunman yet. I was like, okay, so in my head I'm like, so you're thinking that you have a gunman, so then you're going to win the league without actually saying you're going to win the league, which is just banter sort of thing. It's just funny how we do things online. If it's not us, I think Arsenal, I really do think it's do or die for Arsenal. That they got to make this work, man. Like going again and again and again, it does get demoralizing. Because if we didn't win the league after we won the Champions League, losing out by a point the year before, I reckon that team would have mentally been absolutely fried, and it would have gone any forward from there on in. I do think it's do or die for Arsenal in this instance here. So if I had to say, I'm backing my team to win, obviously back-to-back. I'm hoping we do it, defending champions, all that aside. After that, I do think Arsenal are in for it. If it's not Liverpool, banter aside, fans irritating, shameless. I don't give a shit about that. Arsenal, they've been there or thereabouts. They need to push on and move forward. City, though, you can never discount City. You've got to be blind to discount City. As a dark horse, Chelsea. Based on what happened on the Club World Cup, our midfield is better than Arsenal's. This is better than Arsenal's. Okay, so then you're better than Arsenal and you should be winning the league. Well, no, not exactly. So why are you bigging up the team then if you're not confident that you're going to go forward now? I think a lot of people are saying that, Chelsea, the Club World Cup has sort of like shown that they're good in knockout tournaments, which they've won cups along the way, and they've won everything in world football, respective of where they play and what they've been a part of. Intercontinental champions, Club World Cup, Super Cup, Premier League, FA Cup, Conference, Europa. They've won every trophy that they've participated in. So I think it is time for everyone to look at Chelsea now and say, okay, Chelsea were somewhat there or thereabouts last season. This season now, they've got to be in with a proper push.
Yeah. Can I just ask you, just quickly before we move on, and I will. I know everyone's telling me about the news that Ornstein's just broken. I'm gonna bring it up to show Nick because this is his club. I'm sure he's already seen it. But so Bayern Munich have submitted an official bid. This was 4 minutes ago, by the way, for Luis Diaz from Liverpool. The proposal was worth 67.5 million euros. Rejected immediately. I would think so as well. Liverpool value him at 100 million euros, but informed suitors have no plans to sell. Colombia International has made clear he wants to leave. We'll talk about this afterwards we'll talk about this afterwards for sure. This is really interesting. We just talked about the lack of options that Liverpool are going to have. Now you've got this guy that wants to leave as well. And Bayern Munich going in at 33 million euros less than what Liverpool want. We'll talk about that. But just before we do, let me ask you, Aaron, to Nick's point there about Chelsea. It's an interesting one, right? Yeah. Are Chelsea good enough to win a league? I think they've got an amazing midfield. I truly do. I think Caicedo, Fernandes, Lavia, people like Cole Palmer, I think quality footballers. I really like João Pedro. Are they good enough in the other areas of the pitch? Are they good enough to win a title?
They need to sort their goalkeeper out. Massive. If they can get a top centre-back and a goalkeeper, and, a good goalkeeper, like say like Emi Martinez came in, I reckon that's a massive improvement on that Chelsea squad then. And if they was to get a decent defender, a leader, a number one defender, then yeah, why not? They are very, very, very strong in most departments, but I just think if they keep up with their goalkeeping options, it's not for me. Like Manchester United, they're never going to do anything with a goalie like Onana in there. Yeah. They're never going to do anything, and that's Chelsea's Achilles heel. See it again for the last couple of seasons. We see it last season. Their goalkeeper just ain't good enough. And you look at all the keepers that have won Premier League titles. You need a good keeper. You need a good keeper. A good one saves you massive points. It massive points. Not cost you, and that's what Chelsea's keepers do. They cost them points. But if they was to be able to get a decent keeper in, of course they could win the league. They have a chance, absolutely. We've seen stranger things happen. But yeah, I reckon this season maybe a bit too soon. Too soon. Next season, if they keep signing well and then address some of them positions I just said about next season, you could be looking at a really, really competitive Chelsea team. And let's get it right as well. They was always going to get back to it because they throw unlimited amount of money at it. So they was always going to get back to somewhere near the top at some stage. It was just a matter of when, not if. The amount of money that they're spending. I reckon next season could be a real dangerous sort of thing for them, Chelsea. Definitely. But this season,
I watched Chelsea in the World Club Cup, and listen, I think you can see they mixed up their style of play. I think they looked a lot more direct. They looked quite good going forward. Cole Palmer floating is class. Neto, when he wants to be, is absolutely brilliant. I really like João Pedro. You've got Bino Gittins as well. You've got Nkunku. You've got Jackson. I just don't know, Nick, whether they've got the... I always look at the goalkeeper and the striker, and I think if you've got a top striker and a top goalkeeper, you're halfway there. Not saying the rest doesn't need to be good. But have they got that up top for you, Nick? Have they got the goal power to fight for a title, or are they going to be... Or are they maybe a year off it? Not saying the
that's a
window's
good
shut,
point.
mate. I'm not saying the window's
Yeah,
shut. They could
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah.
move,
Of
but-
course. I probably got a couple more minutes and I got to jet off. But
Sure.
to think about that, like, I'm thinking the one concern I had about Chelsea last season, I'm thinking everything looks good. Chelsea's front, goals up front, midfield. The midfield is fucking Rolls Royce, bro. The midfield is midfielding. It's doing its thing.
Oh, I love it.
The fullbacks, the centre backs, they were question mark every week. It was changing. It was Colwell, it was Fofana, it was Gusto filling in, it was Cucurella, it was Colwell at right back or left back, whatever it was, always chopping and changing. And the goalkeeper situation, Sanchez, a lot of people were saying all it takes is one Sanchez mistake and floodgates open up for PSG. Or you have the inverse of Sanchez having an absolute blinding game, and the next game, he'll score an own goal, for example. Like, that's the duality of Sanchez. So if they want to stick with him, that could be maybe questionable. If they got a better keeper, like if Manyan was going to be making his way through, if they were serious, they probably would have brought him on. And maybe you think, okay, goalkeeper's a little bit more solid now. Okay, maybe now it's not going to be as easy to score goals against them. The centre-backs, maybe they can do with another season. Up front, Jackson's not your go-to guy, but Liam Delap being there, potentially there's something in that. You've got João Pedro who can bag goals as well. You can see him play there. You've also got, like, obviously Madueke's, going to Arsenal, so that opens up another spot there. What's his name? Bloody hell. Neto as well. You can see him play there. Palmer floating in and around, so they do have some options up front. The goals specifically, yes. If Chelsea have to sort of like rely on like Palmer scoring goals, it all goes down to him. Like Liverpool with Salah, it just have to like. And if he has an all-timer season, he has an all-timer season. There's nothing else to be said. But what a fantastic season! But signing players, potentially goals up front. I don't know if Delap is going to be the player that's going to bag him 20+ goals. I don't know if João Pedro is going to actually tear it up like he has started so far. Maybe he might have a bit of a blip, and things. It's football. Like, we can hope for the best, and the complete opposite can happen for us. As simple as it is to say. Yeah, goalkeeper for me though is the most important thing. Striker, I think they'll score goals from places. Doesn't really bother them. I think they can score goals. It's the goalkeeper for me that's the question mark at the moment for Chelsea.
Yeah, and Rob Belcher, sure, I get this, mate, but they did just sweep aside the European champions who are sweeping everybody aside. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything to be sniffed at. I think they've got a lot of options. But as I've said, I think the title's going to come from City, Liverpool, Arsenal. And I think Chelsea, I reckon they'll be there. I think they'll probably just fall away at the end. Hang on. I'm going to stop myself in my tracks. Last summer, I said that Man City would win the league. And before you knew it, they were sort of like fifth for most of the season. So, you never know what's going to happen in football. These things change. Guys, I do want to talk about this. And I want to end the show. I know Nick might need to go soon. I do want to end the show at past. But Nick, if you need to go before that, then obviously
I'll probably head off now. Savva, thank you very much for the invite. Aaron, big ups, chat. Smash a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Here to talk about football and whatnot. Preseason starts soon. Let's hope everyone's got their players and all their ducks lined up and they knock things out. Look, as much as we want to be rivals and do the whole shameless thing and dunk on everybody, ultimately, we all want the best for everybody, even if that's our rivals. So big ups, everybody. Appreciate the call up once again. Shout out to everybody. And everyone take care. Peace out.
And please subscribe to Nick at the Football Club. Please do subscribe.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Speak soon, bro.
Hey, boys.
Take care, mate.
See yous.
Bye. Before we wrap, we'll wrap up in 10 minutes at past. But I mean, this is people in the chat have made a really good point. Liverpool valuing a 29-year-old Luis Diaz at 100 million euros, which, by the way, as of today, is 86 million pounds. I like Luis Diaz, but obviously the tone of my voice. I like him, but I don't see that this is 86 million pounds of footballer. Is this just a way of them saying, well, no, we just don't want to sell him, rather than we actually think he's worth 100 million? Do you reckon it's a bit of that?
That's what it is. It's just that keep away, isn't it? They put the silly amount of money on there just to obviously detract clubs from wanting to sign him. He's nowhere near worth 100 million euros. What did you say? That was like 87 or something. Did you sterling? He just ain't worth that. If he was scoring 15, 20 league goals a season, he's worth it. But he's not. So he's not. Do you know what I mean? it's one of them things as well. I think
Let's
other
have a look at.
signings like a Madueke, I think they also inflate the price of things because people will probably be looking at Madueke and going, "Oh, if he's worth 55, then he's worth 75." Do you know what I mean? But he definitely ain't worth anywhere near that. I've never massively, I'm not gonna lie, I've never massively rated Diaz. I think he's good on his day, but he's way too inconsistent. Over the last 3 years, you've not really seen him be consistent for a good 12, 18 months. He's so patchy. And yeah, he's good, not 87 million quid good. No way.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want would you mind him at Spurs?
I mean, yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask because I think our left-sided players are crap. So, yeah, I would absolutely have him at Spurs. But again, when we're talking about £100 million, I think that's crazy. I'll be honest. I heard that Bayern Munich were going to, if they can't get him, we're going to go for Matoma because they can get Matoma at 50 million from Brighton. But it just seems crazy now. Like people are just whacking these massive transfer fees on players' heads. He's 28. He's 29 in January. So obviously this will be the last big move, I suppose, for him. I'm just looking. His best return in the Premier League is 13 Premier League goals. His best assists is 5. Last year he had 18 goal contributions in 36 Premier League games, which is good. But the year before that, he only got 13. So again, it's like, is he that £100 million player? I'm going to agree with you. I don't think he is. But listen, if Liverpool say you're not for sale unless you hit this number, what does the player do? What, like, you know what I mean? Are we talking about going on strike? What does that make Liverpool go? Oh, you've striked. Okay, you can go for 60 million. I don't know. This is an interesting one for me. But if they lost Diaz, you're now looking at Gakpo and Salah. And suddenly Liverpool have gone from all this array of talent up front to
maybe Nunes departing as well in with that,
But that's what I mean. If Nunes go, obviously the Jota thing is very delicate. But
sad,
obviously you've got the Jota situation, then Nunes going. If Diaz goes as well, Salah's 33, 4. So, they'd like to think he's going to have another year like last year, but there's no guarantee. Suddenly, I'm looking at Liverpool and going, I don't think you're winning this title. Like, do you know what I mean? This is in the space of like 2 weeks how football can change because that will be Jota, Nunes, Diaz in that space. So I see why they want to keep him, but this is interesting, man. I think this is interesting.
So if they was to keep Darwin Nunes and keep Diaz, do you reckon are Liverpool your favourites then if they retain them two players for their squad?
Nunes and Diaz?
Yeah, say they keep them. Say Liverpool keep them. They don't do anything else. Are they still your favourites then?
Or they're not my favourites.
They're not your favourites anyway.
No, they're not my favourites. I'm going Man
then.
City. I'm going Man City because I think that there's no way I think Pep's going to allow them to be what they were last year. Erling Haaland scores goals. It doesn't, there's some things that, the sun rises, the sun goes down. Erling Haaland puts the ball in the back of the net. That's just the way life is. Yeah. Rodri's back. And that for me is huge. They're getting in more legs into the team now. You look at Reinders, you look at Cherky, you look at Ait-Nouri. They're starting to add that legs where they were looking leggy. Kusanov, I don't know. Again, I think this will be a breakthrough year for him in terms of being integrated into the team. I don't know. Nico O'Reilly's got another year under his belt. Doku looked like he was getting better last year. Bob's back. I don't know. I just feel like City will. Liverpool need a game changer. I think Liverpool need somebody for Wirtz to supply.
Do you know what? With Manchester City, though, I feel like they haven't done enough to address their defensive issues. That's where I think they can be got at. That's sort of why I make Liverpool my slight favourites going on the current squad now. Purely because I just sit there and I think, well, you're absolutely right, Sav. Some of the players that they've signed, Manchester City, they've really addressed some good positions, made some fantastic business. I still think they're a little bit vulnerable at the the back, and that's where I think over 38 games, that's where it could sort of show.
I think what you're going to see this year from them, I think you're going to see Vardiol now make the permanent switch to centre half to play alongside Ruben Diaz. Ait Nouri going in at left back, and then I don't know what he wants to do at right back, but I think that makes it now look a bit more solid. And I think what they had last year is I'm not excusing it. I don't believe that injury should be a massive excuse all the time. I've got to keep the same mantra I use for Spurs. But when you look to them last year, everyone said it was just Rodri injured, but Stones missed most of the season. Akanji missed a lot of the season. There's loads of them missed loads of it.
Injured, didn't he? I'm sure. Did he get a 6 weeks, 2 months?
Haaland,
something like that.
Yeah. But Nathan Ake at the back as well missed a lot of the season. So I think that if they can sort that out, but the window's not shut. The window's not shut. If I'm right now, if I'm Man City, I'm going out there and I'm looking at a Bastoni. I'm looking at a Hincapi, a Bastoni. I'm looking at somebody of that ilk, even Scalvini. I don't know. I just think going forward, they're going to be back to themselves. I just feel like they've got a lot of firepower there now. So, hey, are you not talking about your boys in the mix?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Nah. As it stands, and that's what we've got to go by. As it stands, we haven't got enough. I still believe that obviously we were behind. I still think Manchester City, even though we finished ahead of them last year, I think we're behind them in terms of we haven't got the know-how still. That we haven't got a manager like they have. They've got a better squad still. So I still believe, even though we finished second at the beginning of June the 1st, I believe we were third favourites. After the transfer windows had 7, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, I believe we are absolutely, definitely third favourites now. I don't believe that we've had a good window like they have. I think we've got further behind a little bit. Even with the Gyökeres, it's still not enough because the gap has been widened. Last summer, if we'd have had the Manchester City window and then the Liverpool window and we'd have got the Gyökeres last summer, totally different thing. But this summer, they're signing well. Like you said, Manchester City ain't going to have another trophyless season like they did in 16-17. That was Pep's first year. And they ain't gonna have that again. They're gonna be back in full force. I just don't think under Mikel Arteta and the current squad that we've got, we've done enough in the window for me to be able to confidently say we'll win the Premier League. Sorry, and with this manager, even if you gave me another 2 players like a Rodrigo, like an Eze, I'll be buzzing for the next manager. But under Mikel Arteta, sorry, he's a loser.
Yeah,
he's a loser. He's a fraud. I didn't want him. And everything that he's done in 5.5 years suggests to me that he is not the guy to take us to the next level. He's done well. You know what I mean? He's built a really good defense. He's made some good signings elsewhere. But when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to that last little bit, that know-how, that getting that one game over the line, we're found wanting. And we've got 5 years of history to go by. I've not just woke up out the wrong side of the bed this morning and thought, you know what? Yeah, I don't really fancy Arsenal. I've got 5 years of failure to go off. And there's been some big failures, some big bottles, some real disaster cup exits. It's not been rosy. It's not like we're making finals left, right, and centre. It's not been good enough. And it's good enough. He's tactically inept. He's not good at rotating his squad. He can't manage. His in-game management is one of the worst I've ever seen. His player identification's pathetic. He's a manager that can't manage any aspect. He can't manage very well. He's just not the guy. You've took us here, buzzing. Get me a geezer that can take us here and here. I don't know. Yeah, but third, I reckon, at best. That's the best we'll probably be able to do. Third at best.
We heard it from an Arsenal fan, people. Just quickly, Ange Ball. I love this. I don't understand why, Savva. You just love City, but they haven't showed anything to suggest that, right? Well, I mean, look, let's break this down. The difference between a troll like you and somebody like me who's trying to think logically. City haven't shown anything. I mean, they've won 4 of the last 5 Premier League titles, right? You've got Rodri coming back in midfield, who is the World Player of the Year. You've got Erling Haaland still up front, who bangs goals for fun. They've added players like Rayan Cherki, Omar Mamouche, Reinders, right? So when you're saying they haven't shown anything to suggest that. Second of all, let me keep telling you how you're a fucking troll, and I will call you out. Sorry, I do this with trolls, right? If I had sat here and said Liverpool, someone will have a problem. Oh, but Liverpool haven't got forwards, haven't got this. I don't think Liverpool win it again. If I had sat here and said Arsenal, you lot would crucify me as being a Spurs fan. So where do I really have options to go other than City and Liverpool to win the league title? What? Who is it? So basically, Ange Ball, you're saying I have to say Liverpool. Is this what you're saying? It's only a league prediction. I don't love City. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. You've got the name Ange Ball as your title. Mate, tell you what we're going to have to do on this one. Sorry, bear with me 1 second, Aaron. We're going to have to just double check this with a Savva VAR. 1 second. Troll. Absolute troll. You're a clown. If you ever want to come on. It makes me laugh. It's literally the choice really is, isn't it, between Liverpool and City for most people. If I say City, I love City. If I say Liverpool, does that mean I love Liverpool? I don't know what to say. But anyway, Aaron, thank you very much. I really, 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 really enjoyed the conversation, man. Really enjoyed it. By the way, sorry, just quickly, Alpesh in the chat who has said, have City replaced Kevin De Bruyne? Well, look, let's be brutally honest. You don't replace Kevin De Bruyne. They don't grow on trees. But what they have got is Phil Foden, Omar Marmoush, and they've just signed Rayan Cherki. So I think they've got quite a lot of options of people that can play in that position. I feel like a lot of people really aren't up to date with who clubs have signed. Anyway, thank you very, very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Let me just see who's live, Aaron, so we can...
Good. Big up chat as well, man. Big up to the chat. Don't forget to smash the likes for Savva. You know what I mean? You got to pay your rent, but big up to you, chat, man. And Sav, pleasure for coming on, man. Hopefully we'll do this again another time, man. I've enjoyed it.
Mate, listen, I'm live every day, so you're always welcome. Let me just see who's live, right? Who we got live? Who is live? Should we send over to Never a Foul? We'll send over to Never a Foul. Guys, I'll put you over to Kaz and them lot. You know the coup. When you get there, please just type in Savva Rage, show the love. I'll be live with George on his channel at 1 p.m. Take care, guys and girls. Thanks, Aaron. Please subscribe to Aaron Talks Arsenal. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs. I'll be back tonight, by the way, probably about 9 p.m. We'll have an emergency meeting. We'll have a Lee Gunner style emergency meeting about Morgan Gibbs-White and the likes. Take care. Please like and subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Gunners.